हरे कृष्ण। ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we were discussing how Lord has provided various facilities for us. So first thing he gave is the mind, and then he gave the body, and then all the senses connected to it, and how to see the uh, connection. I'll just share the screen for you. So this is a very so I'll just revise for you what we have discussed. So here we have somebody who is not marrying. So it is actually irresponsible life. So this should be understood properly. Just a second. First stage of life comes is when a person is he's in the getting unmarried life is actually selfish life. But in that, if a person is properly serving Guru or serving Vaishnavas, then it is not. That's not a problem. So first is selfish life. So selfish life is a person is unmarried. This is actually selfish life. So then there are two things. One is like he goes to ashram, brahmachari ashram. So here he is taught to be selfless. How? You serve Guru. So this is actually to make a person responsible. So now many people are saying we will not get married. Actually, if they are not getting married, it's actually a selfish life. So this will not make any spiritual progress much. They have to come to a selfless life. Either they are serving Guru or serving Vaishnavas. If a person, okay, even if he don't want to get married and he is not in ashram, then he should at least do this thing. He should serve Guru and Vaishnavas. Or then next stage comes his Grihastha. So here he will become little selfless. So this is also a good stage to be selfless, because many people we see, they say, "Oh, I don't do anything for myself. I do everything for my family only, for my children, wife, and everything." So this is also a selfless life. But in this, there are two categories. So one is uh, here what happens is, in this is a dharmic life he is living. So, if initially a person who is unmarried, like a very sinful life, so what happens is when Pandavas they were after Vanavarta they were burnt in that graha. Then they leave that place and go, and then they were wandering here and there, and then they were advised that you need to have a guru. You cannot be like that, and you need to get married. So these are the two mistakes you are doing. That means you should enter into a ashram life. Yeah, so here Grahastha life is they got married and they need to have a guru. So both the things. So this guru is for dharmic life. So this is a dharmic life. So in dharmic life you need guru also and wife also. And so here what happens is this person lives properly, and this guru is actually a Brahmana. Brahmana here in the sense is Purohit. Purohit is like he is trying to do welfare for the family, that all the sanskaras, all the activities for the family is done by this guru. So they need to have a Purohit for the family. Everybody used to have like that in previous ages. This is basically for living a dharmic life. So he lives a very dharmic life. So till now, so what happens is he becomes little selfless. Now he is not working for himself. So previously, if he's not married, he is living a sinful life. Like that's the reason they had to be in some ashram, either brahmacharya or grahastha. Otherwise, it is sinful life. Or if he is want to live an unmarried life, also he should be selflessly serving Guru and Vaishnavas. That is also allowed in present ISKCON scenario. You serve Guru and Vaishnavas, then you are properly situated. Basically, we have to become selfless. So we may say, okay, Grahasthashram is also selfless in one level because he is and he's taking care of wife and children. I don't do anything for myself. And we can see many people also, they are selflessly tirelessly working in the offices day and night and for taking care of the family. And especially in India you have so many loans to clear and so many for children's education, for children's marriage, and then settlement their house. So much they are doing, it looks like they are selflessly doing for somebody. But here comes another problem. So here the problem comes is it looks like selfless life, but even that dharmic life is also sinful because it binds a person to this material world. Then comes spiritual guru. So he will help us to come out of even this dharmic life also. That is the next stage. So here brahmacharya ashram, what happens is because you lead a selfless life, there is no second part. This dharmic part is not there. Direct spiritual life only for him. So here direct spiritual life. But for grasta, there are two parts. One is dharmic life, also spiritual life, also. So here comes the so here what happened is King Puranjana, he was living a dharmic life now. So first he was doing sinful, and he got married, and after that also he did little sinful activities, but his wife controlled him, and now he she controlled too much that he became very cozy in the dharmic life also. So this is actually what this section is telling, how Puranjana is very happy. No, he enjoys with his wife, and then he goes to his dharmic life where is the brahmanas are telling him, okay, do this charity, do this yajna, and all this thing, and it's like I am good only. So most of the people in this world they get caught up till here only, dharmic life. They say we are not doing sinful, we are very obedient, we have one wife, we have children, and we are taking care of everything. We go to temple also, we give charity also, we we chant also. And so we have to know the very difference between spiritual life and dharmic life. So this is where the mistake comes. People think, oh, I am doing good only, no. I also have salagram at home, we also have deities at home, we also invite devotees at home. But the spiritual life is which is different state of practice. Dharmic life is also sinful because it is also bonding. Because if you see the chariot, if you remember, it has two wheels. One is religious and irreligious. So both wheels are there and both are cause of bondage only. Religion and irreligion, both are bondage. So that is what this section is telling. So here, Puranjana, if you see, what happens is Gautam Buddha, he goes to his home after many years. Actually, he takes sannyas and he was preaching, and after that many years he goes to the home. Then his wife becomes very upset. She starts shouting on him. You cheated me, you did this, you did that, and she starts shouting. And then after 8 years he goes actually, and uh, then she want to trick him. He says that okay, do something for your child. And she brings the child in front of him, who is 8 years old that time. He says, you do something for this fellow. And Gautam Buddha, I think his servant is there besides him, his disciple was they were something. So he says, okay, give me my begging ball. And he takes and gives to the child. He says, my dear son, you will get kingdom after some time. But it is not, it is only going to disturb your mind. This is the begging ball. No, you can just be peaceful. Don't get attached to anything of this world. And she was surprised. She says, my God, what is this fellow doing? Actually, it is, this is the mindset of a spiritual. They don't find any taste. They already know that this is cause of bondage. So this is the most important thing. So here in the 25th chapter, we are told how this body is formed. 26th, after getting body, how we enjoy sense gratification. So then 27th, how body is destroyed. So this is actually the sequence. Now here that is explained. How the King Puranjana, after bewildering her husband in different ways and bringing him under her control, the wife of Puranjana gave him all satisfaction and enjoys sex life with him. So this is actually what she is doing, and person feels, oh, it's everything is nice only, right? No, it is not nice. The queen took her bath, dressed herself nicely with all auspicious ornaments, garments. After taking food and completely satisfied, she returned to the king. Upon seeing her beautifully decorated, attractive face, the king welcomed her with all devotion. And then, so this is what is happening to him. So Narada Muni further says that so this is all is happening to our intelligence. We are very happy. I'm doing all these things nicely. It won't work actually. Uh, See, three things that attaches. Important to know. Yeah, yay sansparsha bhoga. Everything. So Puranjana embraced Queen Puranjani embraced the king. The king also responded by embracing her shoulders. In this way, in a solitary place, they enjoyed joking words. Thus, King Puranjana became very much captivated by his beautiful wife and uh, deviated from his good sense. He forgot that the passing of days and nights meant that his span of life was being reduced without profit. So now such a dangerous situation is happening for him. He is not able to understand this reality. So this is the unfortunate situation for most of the living entities. And Prabhupada writes a very heavy purport here that the word pramada is very, in this verse, is very significant. A beautiful wife is certainly enlivening to her husband, but at the same time is a cause of degradation. So this is the point. Why it is degradation? It is not her mistake. That is his mistake. That is his weakness. So this is the weakness of man. So it is not her mistake. She can be whatever she is. This fellow is weak. The word pramada means enlivening as well as maddening. Generally, householder does not take the passing of days and nights very seriously. A person in ignorance takes it as the usual course that days come and after that days and nights come. This is the law of material nature. But a man in ignorance does not know that when the sun rises early in the morning, it begins to take the balance of his life. Ayur harati vaipumsam. Thus, day after day, the span of one's life is reduced. And forgetting the duty of human life, the foolish man simply remains in the company of his wife and enjoys her in a secluded place. So, such a condition is called aprakrishta chetna or degraded consciousness. So, so this is a foolish man simply remains in the company of wife is degraded consciousness. Human consciousness should be used for elevation to Krishna consciousness. So when a person is too much attracted to his wife and family affairs, he does not take Krishna consciousness very seriously. He thus becomes degraded, not knowing that he cannot buy back even a second of his life in return for millions of dollars. The greatest loss in the life is passing time without understanding Krishna. Every moment, Prabhupada is writing so heavy purpose. Every moment of our life should be utilized properly for the proper use of life is to increase the devotional service to Lord. Without devotional service to Lord, activities of life becomes simply a waste of time. Shrama eva hi kevalam. धर्मस्वनिष्ठित पुंसां विश्वक्सेन कथास्य नोत्पादयति तिरतिम श्रमयेव kevalam. Simply by becoming dutiful, we do not make any profit in life. You see, very important point. Simply being dutiful, and that is also Prabhupada writing in the brackets. So it that means being dutiful don't make anything in life. It is just waste of time. We have to take to spirituality. Like there was a question yesterday that uh, about family, this development of anapeksha, how to be nirapeksha, how to get detachment. So this is a very important understanding. Please try to understand. It is very easy for a family person to develop this quality of nirapeksha. That means a detachment. What he has to do is a person should teach his wife, then the wife will again teach back to the husband. This is the first thing, because she is very dharmic. If she knows that this is right, she will make sure that it will happen. So if if you want to don't want to get any problem, then don't teach. If you are teaching, then you'll, because women have this ability. Every family person should develop the spirit of independence. So because what we must understand that we depend on this thing so much. We are having this dependency. So first thing is fulfill the duty in relation to others, but at the same time we have to not expect others to fulfill their duties. So this is the first most easiest way if you want to develop it. So fulfill the duties. So here being dutiful, but the another important thing is just it won't work. Why it won't work? Because uh, Being dutiful, we have to be dutiful. If we are dutiful, we will be attached to uh, result. That is okay. But don't expect from family members. That detachment is what is the most important for a person in the family life. He has to not expect from family members, then very easy. He can become very fast detached from all these family problems. So the point here is that I fulfill my duties, but at the same time I don't expect others to fulfill their duties, because in a material society a person often fulfills duty, but at the same time he always thinks that others should also, everyone seeing my example, they should also fulfill their things. So then the problem comes. So my wife, my children, no, I should not demand or do not expect. I do not should be upset if they are not fulfilling their duties. Then I am free from this. So that is actually what the freedom we need. The freedom is even others are not doing, I am not getting affected. Then the person is very free to practice Krishna consciousness. So this is the inner spirit of sannyas for a grahastha. So no expectations, no expectations, and is not upset. So this is actually sannyasi spirit of grahastha. So grahastha also can be a sannyas. So this is spirit. It is whereas because Krishna all the time he condemns that detachment should not appear externally. You see, he says that it should not manifest itself in some restlessness. Oh, I am so much fed up with my family. Sometimes somebody comes and says, "Oh, I also want to become like you." I said, "You are married, yeah, I'm married, but I am not happy." No, that is external renunciation. It should be internal spirit. It's not external. Like we are hearing from about the Priyat Maharaj. So it's a internal spirit, and so then he definitely renounces the fruits of his labor. This is the actually, if externally they are doing, na, it is fanatism or stupidity. But inside he should do it. Otherwise, what happens? Inside is emotionally dependent on all situations. Externally is renouncing. So it is not like that. So internally he is emotionally dependent, and externally renouncing. So this is fanatism. Your understanding, but it should be opposite. Externally he is doing, but internally he is aloof. So this state is what we all have to practice. That is what Krishna is telling, and Arjuna also, after he listening Bhagavad Gita, when his son died, Abhimanyu, he was emotionally so much affected. Still, he continued doing his duty for Krishna. So that is actually example of nirapeksha. Means that is a state of inner detachment. Yes, he is not stone hearted. Arjuna was not stone hearted. He was emotionally affected, not stone hearted, but unaffected. So you are seeing the difference. So this is actually what is to be understood for grahasthas. Uh, no, no, no. We care. Externally detached does not mean we don't care. Internally detached means we don't care. We care. but we don't get affected by it. There is a difference. Like Prabhupada cared, but he's not affected. So Prabhupada cared also, but not affected. So this happens. Like say you are you are taking care of some people, and we care for them, but we need not be attached to them. So this is very much possible. I'll make these notes again. I'm sorry, I made it wrong place. So this is what is to be learned very nicely. So this is the system. So to live a spiritual life and practicing it properly. So in this way, increasingly overwhelmed by illusion, King Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, remained always lying down on his head on the pillow of his wife's arms. In this way, he considered woman to be ultimate life and soul. Thus, thus overwhelmed by mode of ignorance, he could not understand the meaning of self-realization for his self or the supreme personality of Godhead. So this is where the mistake happened. So I'll just make these notes here again because I deleted it. So I'll just write for again a revision. You can think. Maybe tomorrow I can do. So we were discussing. Okay, tomorrow I'll do. I do this tomorrow again. Some revision we can. So human life is meant for self-realization. So what is the mistake Puranjana is doing? He is he considered woman to be ultimate life and soul. Where is the fault of woman here? It is his fault only, na? So this should be very clearly understood. It is not her fault. If she is given properly, if husband is properly trained, and if he takes to spiritual life, she will also take spiritual life. If he is not doing it, what she will do? She will just follow the husband. So it is not mistake of wife. It is a mistake of men only. He is doing the mistake, and because of which she is also getting affected and and becoming thus overwhelmed by mode of ignorance. He could not understand the meaning of self-realization. That's why the shastras give the advice. What is the advice they give? Man should, all the instructions are for men only, and women are told follow the husband. So instructions are mostly for men, and women should follow husband. But nowadays, this is not happening. So now instructions are for both because husbands are not doing properly. So now the instructions which we are receiving, it is for both. So they also understand it and then they follow it. They also know, even the gopis, they were also very nicely understanding the scriptures and they were quoting also. They know, they were talking about Pingala also, the detachment about Pingala and all. They were also learning the scriptures. But after learning, then they used to guide the husband in doing it properly. So human life is meant for self-realization. First of all, one has to realize his own self, which is described in this verse as Nijama. Then he has to understand or realize the super soul or Paramatma, the supreme personality of God. However, when we becomes too much materially attached, he takes a woman to be everything. So this is the basic principles of material attachment. In such a condition, one cannot realize his own self or the supreme personality of Godhead. So this is the mistake they do. So why they are taking women? Because they are interested in pleasure. So they think, okay, so what they want to get that emotional support and physical pleasure, emotional pleasure, and mental pleasure. All the pleasures are there. Physical, emotional, and then they feel secure, and all these things that happens. But it is in a wrong place. That's why it is said, uh, Mahatseva dvaram ahur vimuktes tvamo dvaram yoshitam sangi sangam. If one associates with Mahatmas or devotees, his path for liberation is opened. But if one becomes too much attached to women or to persons who are attached to women, that is attached to women directly or indirectly, he opens the tamodwaram, hellish life. So this is the he is uh, he is spoiling both woman's life and his life, his wife and both. King Puranjana was a great soul, highly intellectual and possessed an advanced consciousness, but due to his being too much addicted to women, his whole consciousness was covered. In the modern age, the consciousness of people is too much covered by wine, women, and flesh. Consequently, people are completely unable to make any progress in self realization. So, here, if you live a selfish life, it won't work only. This is all selfish life. It won't work. It is not good for the soul. The first level of self-realization is to know oneself as spirit soul apart from the body. In the second stage self-realization, one comes to know that every soul, every individual living entity, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Paramatma, is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. My Vamsho Jivaloke. So living entity in this condition world are my eternal fragmental parts. And they are manasashtan indriyani prakriti sthani karshadi. You see, due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with six senses, which include mind. This is what is our position. All living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, in the present civilization, both men and women are allowed to be attracted to one another for the very beginning of life, and because of this, they are completely unable to come to the platform of self realization. They do not know that without self realization, they suffer the greatest loss in human form of life. Thinking of women always within one's heart is a tantamount to lying down with a woman on a valuable bed sheet. Beds said. So Prabhupada is very heavy. The heart is the bedstead. It is most valuable bedstead. When a man thinks of woman and money, he lies down and rests on the arms of his beloved woman or wife. In this way, he overindulges in sex life and thus becomes unfit for self-realization. So, such a nice instruction Prabhupada is given. He is very open. This why he is a sadhu. He can tell what is reality. So, what happens is that living entity is interested in the living entity is interested in enjoying. So now he may say, "Arey, I am enjoying dharmically only, na my wife only." That also is not allowed after some time. It is not for the well good for the soul. That's why. Otherwise, because you are living in a very foreign place. It's not a proper enjoyment for the soul. It is just an imaginary, illusory pleasure. That's what we saw from the chariot analogy, right? The soul is caught up. It is bound. So, and the bondage, we have to come out of that bondage. And the greatest bondage which is holding the knots in the heart. That's not that's why Prabhupada is telling heart is the most valuable pet shed. So we should play something very valuable here. So it should be for Krishna. When a man thinks of woman, he lies down, and no, that's actually what happens to him and most of it. Now people may say, "Arey, I'm not marrying only. I am not doing any of these things." Still, the that is also a big cause of bondage. That is also not excused. You will be, my dear King Puranjan, in this Prachini Barshan, the King Puranjana with his heart full of lust and sinful reactions began to enjoy sex with his wife, and in this way, his new life and youth expired in half a moment. This is the most important thing. New life and youth expired in a half a moment. And Prabhupada is so ecstatic. He's writing. Srila Govindas Thakur has sung, Yedi Vedana Javana Putra Parijana Ite Kiyache Para Itire Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala Gajahu Haripada Nitire. It says that actually there is no bliss in the enjoyment of youthful life. In the youth, a person becomes very lusty to enjoy all kinds of sense objects. The sense objects are form, taste, smell, touch, and sound. The modern scientific method or advancement of scientific civilization encourages the enjoyment of these five senses. The younger generation is very pleased to see a beautiful form or hear radio messages or material news and sense gratificatory songs, to smell nice scents, nice flowers, and to touch soft bodies of young women, and gradually, so all of this is very much pleasing to animals. Therefore, in human society, there are restrictions in enjoyment of five sense objects. So now that time television just came, Prabhupada was there. So he don't know about social media and all. If one does not follow, he becomes exactly like an animal. Thus, in this verse, it is specifically stated, Kama Kashmala Chetasa. The consciousness of Kung Puranjana was polluted by lusty desires and sinful activities. So, I think this is some of the heavy dose. And again, in the fifth canto, also Prabhupada gives Ravagana section also very heavy. So, in the previous verse, it is stated that Puranjana, although advanced in consciousness, lie down on a very soft bed with his wife. This indicates that he indulges too much in sex. The word Navam Vayaha are also significant in this verse. This they indicate the period of youth from age 16 to 30. These 13 or 15 years of life are years in which one can very strongly enjoy the senses. When one comes to this age, he thinks that life will go on and that he will simply continue enjoying his sex life, his senses. But time and tide waits for none. The span of youth expires very quickly. When one wastes his life simply by committing sinful activities in youth, immediately becomes disappointed and disillusioned. When the brief period of youth is over, the material enjoyment, the material enjoyments of youth are especially pleasing to a person who has no spiritual training. If one is trained only according to the bodily conception of life, he simply leads a disappointed life because bodily sense enjoyment finishes within 40 years or so. After 40 years, one simply leads a disillusioned life because he has no spiritual knowledge. For such a person, the expiration of youth occurs in half a moment. Thus, King Puranjana's pleasure, which he took in lying down with his wife, expired very quickly. Kashmala Chetasa also indicate that unrestricted sense enjoyment is not allowed in human form of life by laws of nature. If one enjoys the sense unrestrictedly, he leads a sinful life. Animals do not violate the laws of nature. For example, sex impulse in animals is very strong during certain months of the year. The lion is very powerful. He is a flesh eater and very strong, but he enjoys sex only once in a year. Similarly, according to religious injunction, a man is restricted to enjoy sex only once in a month. After the menstrual period of the wife, and if the wife is pregnant, he is not allowed sex life at all. That is the law of human being. A man is allowed to keep more than one wife because he cannot enjoy sex with when the wife is pregnant. If he wants to enjoy sex at that time, at such a time, he may go to another wife who is not pregnant. These are the laws mentioned in the Manu Samhita and other scriptures. These laws and scriptures are meant for human beings. As such, if one violates these laws, he becomes sinful. The conclusion is that the unrestricted sense enjoyment means sinful activities. Illicit sex is sex that violates the laws given in the scriptures. When one violates the laws of scriptures or Vedas, he commits sinful activities. One who is engaged in sinful activities cannot change his consciousness. Our real function is to change our consciousness from Kashmala, sinful consciousness, or to Krishna consciousness. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Krishna is the supreme pure, and if one changes one's consciousness from material enjoyment to Krishna, we become purified. This is the process recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the process of Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleaning the mirror of heart. So, uh, I don't want too much comment. Prabhupada is already heavy. I don't want to add. You all can comprehend. So, we'll take some questions. Yes, Gail Mataji.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Just one question. It's about
Yeah.
caring without being affected. Because caring means that you have some emotion, right, for the person that you're caring for, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if you're having emotions, that means you're being affected. So, how to care without being affected?
We like you show affection, but you are not attached. Like say now you are going in the train and you find some child and no, he needs some help. You can help also, but you are not affected. Like no, you are showing some compassion. You make some. He wanted some food or something, or he wants something. You can care for that person, but you need not be affected by what is happening. Means you are aloof also from the situation, so that is very much possible. So we
Yeah,
care
I
but
think
need not
I
be
need more.
attached.
Yeah. Can you just elaborate on what it means to be affected? Because the
Like
reason why you are caring for that child, right, was because, your heart went out to them. They affected your heart. Otherwise, you couldn't
huh,
show compassion.
like see, we are affected by it, we have emotion, but we are not attached. So there is a difference. That's what I was giving the example of Arjuna. When his son died, Abhimanyu, he was affected, he was emotionally affected, but he did not stop his action. Not that he's hard-hearted. He is not affected. It is affecting the heart, but you don't get means you are still aloof also from it. You are independent in your action. You can continue doing your action. That is also very much there.
Okay, so a person
So,
who is attached, right? You
uh,
know, they care for the person. They have compassion for the person, so they are affected, but they're not attached. So if they were attached, how would that look? You know,
then
yeah.
like see what happened is Dronacharya, when he came to know that his son died, immediately he left his work due as a he was the commander in chief. He just left all his arms. He sat in meditation and he stopped fighting only. And then he was killed. So that is what is attachment. Even though he knows I am supposed to do something, but he's too much attached to his son. He didn't do. Arjuna's son died. He is also affected, but he did not stop. He continued and he did more fighting, more service. So there is a difference. If you are attached, you cannot perform your duties properly.
Okay,
If
so
you are, yeah,
yeah, so attached means that, because even the aloof person will can be emotional, but I guess
yeah,
attachment crosses the line where you get so overpowered by your emotions that you cannot do your duty anymore. That seems to
yeah,
be the difference.
yeah,
The
yeah,
person
yeah.
who is aloof, they can perform their duties even though they are emotionally affected. Whereas the
Yeah,
person who is attached, they can no longer perform their duties due to being too overly emotionally affected.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, thank you, Bruno.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Let's say something. But internally being aloof leads to some guilt. Yeah, we discussed. Okay, thank you very much. We will continue on Monday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.